Welcome to Certainly Doing Reviews. I'm Katie, and I'll be your host this week.
I'm Sam.
It's Kurt.
And I'm Corey.
This week's episode is entitled Simp City, where we watched Free Guy. The honorable mention for the title of the episode was going to be him, in reference to her.
If you get it, you get it. If you don't, sorry.
The Joaquin Phoenix falling in love with the phone movie. Joaquin Phoenix falling in love with the phone movie.
Oh my gosh.
This is a great start.
What the fuck was that laugh that just came out? Oh,
fucking killed Sam.
Oh my word. Alright.
I don't think I've ever Sam laughed this much on the podcast.
It was something so trivial too. It wasn't even like
I've never heard anybody call him Joaquin.
Oh lord, alright. Free Guy came out in 2021. It is an hour and 55 minutes. Sam's dying over there, so it's Kurt. You can watch it on Disney Plus and HBO Max, and it stars Ryan Reynolds, Jodie Comer, Taika Waititi, Joe Keery. There's also Lil Ray Howery.
Utkarsh and Budkar.
Your lisp does it perfectly.
It's great. Yeah, so Free Guy. That's a watch it for me.
It's a watch it for me, but I want to include a caveat. It's if you don't get a lot of pop culture, I think that it's still going to be a good movie, but it's not going to be a great movie. That's just a very small caveat, though.
It's watch it for me. It's one of my favorite movies in 2021 in my top 10 list. So, granted, there wasn't a whole lot of great in that year, but you know.
As somebody who does not know a lot of pop culture references, I still thought it was pretty great. So it's a watch it for me.
You're telling me you didn't get...
I thought it was a watch it. I thought it was a pretty great movie. Really enjoyed everything about it. It was just fun.
It's a
so fun.
Very fun movie. This is the second time I've watched it, but it makes me laugh. There's a little bit of heart to it. It's not too deep, but deep enough that you actually care about what's going on. It's not just let me laugh at this the whole entire time.
It gives you a reason to live in this simulation we all do live in. So, congratulations.
Hashtag deep.
Bo Burnham has a song called #Deep.
Oh.
Wow, maybe I am good at pop culture.
Was it from his special from last year?
No, not Inside.
Okay.
That one's great, though.
I don't really watch him that often, so.
It's great. He's great. I love Bo Burnham.
He is great. I just exists at times, so.
Okay, to be
it's
fair,
the
he
simulation,
did for
Sam.
I mean, how long was he on hiatus?
A hot minute. He took time off, though, because he was having some struggle bus moments.
Yeah, hiatus.
Going great, guys.
What a solid episode so far.
I'm enjoying this. We should publish it like
this.
this.
This is the episode Sam laughed the most in, and it was a joke I made. I'm winning.
Was it a joke?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
I am not entirely convinced that you weren't, actually convinced that's how you pronounce his name.
Dude, I always see his name, and I always want to be like, the Joaquin Phoenix movie, and then a lot of times I just be like the Joaquin Phoenix movie, and I just don't talk about him.
There is not a singular time I've ever heard you say it like that.
No, that's because I'd never talk about him.
That's not true.
I will very purposefully be...
That's not true.
Or I'll say Phoenix.
You guys ready to dive into this shit?
Absolutely.
Spoilers.
Alright, guys, spoiler warning.
Let's get into it, man.
Yeah, spoiler time. So, synopsis for Free Guy. In the extremely popular video game, Free City, an NPC named Guy learns the true nature of his existence when he meets the girl of his dreams, a human player. This player's interactions with Guy has a massive effect on him, the game, and the real world as they play it.
Okay. It's like B-movie.
B-movie 2021?
Yeah.
Alright, let's start this thing off. Best part? Or favorite part?
All of it.
It was pretty all around a really great movie. I think my favorite part was when dude comes in. That just fucking killed me. I couldn't handle that.
I have to tell you, I recorded you and Kurt when Guy came out, or when Dude came out, sorry. And you both just absolutely lost it.
I couldn't handle it. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And he has a tattoo of a blue shirt because he's half-baked.
Catchphrase.
I can bench press sentences. Just
I love 3 things.
Kicking ass.
TBD, third thing here.
insert third thing. Great. And he's got Ryan Reynolds' face and like fucking boy band hair, and it's just
Top tier.
it's top tier. When I first like immediately showed him, I just lost my shit. I couldn't.
You guys will have to check out our TikTok to see this reaction.
Oh my god.
I don't know if I can pick an exact. I think it's when when Buddy and Guy are sitting there and they're talking about their days.
And the bank when it's getting robbed.
Yeah, and like glasses spraying on them. It just.
You seem to really love the part where he asks for a cappuccino and then the officer says you're asking to be shot.
Yeah, that was also really funny.
My favorite part might be the Channing Tatum
No.
interaction
Don't touch that fucking sock.
with Revengeman buttons.
That's the special sock.
That sock is gonna give you therapy for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
It's
Your
gonna make you
grandkids
need
make that
therapy.
sock stand up on its own.
It's so great. The greatest thing I think about this movie is that it doesn't feel nearly as long as it is. It's an easy watch.
It is. It's so, like, it's pretty fast paced. There's not really a part where I feel like it lulls or anything.
When you said the runtime, I understand that we've talked about it, but I did not agree. Like, I wanted to fight you and be like, it wasn't that long. It's like an hour and 20 minute movie.
It's not almost 2 hours.
Nope.
It
Once
really
gets
did not
going,
feel like that.
It's like action, or like, I mean, it just keeps moving. There's never like, even like in the lulls, it's always still progressing the movie forward.
There's always reason behind everything, which is great because a lot of movies don't have that.
Yeah.
Especially ones that we watch.
This is true.
I think that ask the question.
Which one? The worst part? Yeah, I haven't gotten to that because I didn't say my favorite part.
Oh, say your favorite part, Kitty.
So, before we move on to worst part, my favorite part is probably the fight between Guy and Dude. Just because Guy is getting the absolute living shit kicked out of him, and then Buddy shows up and he's just like grabbing on Dude like it's his boobs. It's just so funny. It fucking gets yeeted, and it is so, oh my god, it just cracks me up.
And he's happy about getting yeeted. He's like, I'm as light as a feather.
Or the part where Guy's fighting everybody and saving them. I'm not gonna lie,
as
it's just
he's
fun.
leveling up.
It's just fun.
Yeah, that's another fantastic part. Him just like trying to level up and everything is just so funny
Like,
because
he
like
puts
he'll
the-
save one person and then they walk away
Wait.
and somebody else fucking kills him. And you're like, oh.
Or he puts the watermelon in the tank so he got to stop firing.
Yes, it's fantastic. All right, just for you, Corey. What's your least favorite or worst part?
My least favorite part is when they're in the park and they have that like emotional connection point where like you realize that all these things that she loves, he also loves, and it was designed to be that way. I just felt like it was like a little bit overly sappy and kind of like it seems to just be there to be there. I understand the point of it in the end. I just felt like was like just kind of shoveled in there to kind of show that Guy is a real guy to her, even though we all know, and it doesn't come off as necessary, especially in the moment. It just feels like a weird break. I don't think it's bad per se. I think it makes sense for the ending of the movie, especially to have that in there, and it alludes to it a couple of times, but I just feel like that one chunk just was like real sudden for how the movie was going. And they're like, oh, we're just gonna suddenly like chunk in more of the romantic interest portion, even though it's been a little bit. I was like, I get it, but also it was not great transitioning into it. So that's my least favorite part.
I feel like Kurt's least favorite part is gonna tie into that.
It does actually.
Who would have guessed? Yeah.
Okay, you guys, look.
Okay.
I'm not saying that simping is a problem, but Pokimane was in this movie, and
Kurt, as a simp, do you feel represented?
I don't, because he actually got the girl.
Oh, that's right. I'm with Katie.
It feels like false representation. But no, I really do. I can't be the only one who was a little creeped out by the romance. Like, it felt like she was written by a guy. And I mean that in, like, the most honest way. Like, it felt like she was just written, especially in the end, to go with them. Like, he created an AI based off of himself, except he didn't. They're not similar people. And she liked the fact that he was naive and fun-loving, and the other guy seemed jaded and kind of weird. Like the real-life guy. And it's almost like he fell in love with the ideal, like, internet version of himself and not the real-life version of himself. And he knew her favorite stuff. Bro, I could Google that about someone. I can Google it on a celebrity. Doesn't mean they're going to fall in love with me. And they're always like, they always get them in the movies with, like, and they do that one cute little thing where they wiggle their pinky every time they drink coffee. And it's like, anyone can notice that.
Kurt, do you notice these things?
You know, honestly, I don't know if I do.
I knew that was coming, and that's exactly why I asked this question.
Oh, I know. I was like, of all people.
But look, like, it's...
We've been in a relationship for almost 4 years, Kurt.
I notice little things you do.
You do?
Yes.
You literally just said no, Kurt.
No, no, like, you guys get what I'm saying. Like, it's always the simp who gets the girl by noticing the small little thing when the douchebag guy doesn't.
It's almost like girls like it when they're cared about.
No, but it's always the simp.
That.
It's always the simp. Bro, he's been simping her for years.
It's almost like
Is dating a girl. Is dating a girl just simping after them? Is getting married just being a simp?
Yes. No, but like, okay, look. Here's the thing. Like, I'm convinced she fell in love with the guy version of him and not actually him. And she's coping with the fact that she got B-movied by dating the guy who simped after her. He literally made a video game to simp for her.
He didn't make a video game.
They made the game together.
I mean, he kind of made it. Okay, fine. He
made the character.
He wrote the code. He wrote the AI.
Yeah,
So
as it's said in the movie, he is a love letter to her.
Yeah.
Which is cute.
I guess. Okay, my thing is, it's the time. For me, it's all about the time. Like, all of a sudden, they've been around together forever. He's been doing this stuff forever. And then one day she notices, and it's like a switch being flipped. But here's the thing. There's a lot of really disgusting online rhetoric I see about guys who expect it to be that way in real life. And then they get toxic, and then they get mean towards women. Let's just be honest. This doesn't help that.
I really thought you were going to say, let's just be honest. It's fine to be mean towards women.
No. Look,
What I was going to say is you wouldn't do something like that for me, Kurt?
But we're dating. If we weren't dating and it had been 5 years, no, I would assume that you don't like me and move on.
Okay, that's fair. I
Yes,
can get behind that.
Not all men are like that. Like, let's be real. But
Yeah, and that's how, like, dudes end up in prison and women end up, getting stalked by their exes.
I think the thing people about that need to realize this is a movie, and the story has to be told in 2 hours.
Yeah.
and don't
And
think
not
too
real
hard
life.
about it.
Yeah.
Well, and I think additionally, we're missing a large part of this is that AI was their life's work, and for him to take advantage of it in the new game, even though he kind of betrayed her a lot, which, let's be for real, like, if somebody betrayed you that much and then in the end was like, oh, I'm actually here to help, I'd still be like, fuck you, as she should be. But to have something so deeply connected to where it's like, well, you knew the whole time, and it's like, well, I actually really do care for you, and I put all this effort into it. It's a lot less about him being the ideal version and her falling in love with that version, and more of her falling in love with the idea of the love letter. In the game, it's romantic and sweet because they have all the same things, even though he doesn't like all the same things. It's more of a, like, I notice these things about you. I love these things about you. They're the things that I want to remember about you.
Still, it had been years. It had been minimum 5 years.
I mean, so I guess...
Like, he betrayed her for 5 years. And he wouldn't join the lawsuit. Look, if he had joined the lawsuit and been, like, simping hard with her, okay. But he betrays her for 5 years.
That would have been more simpy, though.
That's fine.
Hey,
Well-
really quick before Sam and I dive in on this too. For the older crowd that is listening to our podcast, can you please explain what simping is? Because I know some of them are not going to get it.
Yeah, we could have done this in the beginning.
We can-
Simping is when you not just do stuff for women you like, but literally do every single thing you can, praise them constantly, and refuse to admit any negative traits they have, give money towards them, and hope that they will notice you. Like, devote your whole life because you like a woman.
It's kind of the idea of, like, trying to swoon somebody.
Excessively.
Yeah, excessively, and that person doesn't necessarily like you back. They can, but usually when you simp for somebody, that person does not like you back.
There we go. Now you guys know what simping means.
And a woman can do it too. It's not exclusive to men.
This is
it's just
true.
a lot less common in women.
This is true because during our Spider-Man No Way Home episode, I said I was a simp for Black Cat, so it's fine.
Man, I'm fucking simp for Josh Hutcherson, so we can all say something about it.
Anyway, so I guess my least favorite part is the fact that we don't actually, and this kind of plays into what you're saying, Kurt, we don't actually get to see a lot of the relationship between Millie and Keys. And so I think that's part of why it feels so weird all around. And I understand that Guy is supposed to be like the representation of him in the game, even though it's not actually him.
Real quick, Millie is the lead female.
Yes.
We haven't said that yet. Who Millie is.
That's true. We have not.
Yeah,
We're just like
Millie.
her, him, her.
Guy dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
Buddy.
Buddy, yeah.
Millie is the lead female character. She's the girl that the game focuses on in there. She's the girl who has the lawsuit against against the game and everything.
Yep, she's Molotov.
I just felt like since you were talking about that, we
That's
should
true.
probably say it.
we didn't say that
And-
or really mention Keys, who's
Yeah,
the
and Keys,
other.
main dude.
Yeah,
The main
Keys is
programmer.
one of the game developers. He and Millie made an AI,
Yep.
and Antoine stole it from them and put it in his game very soppily, and
Yep.
here we are.
Yep. Good idea, Corey. I
Thank
didn't
you.
even think about the fact that
I
we
was
hadn't
like,
said her name.
wait a second.
I could see you like, I gotta say this, and so I was trying to get a stopping point. Anyway, so yeah, I don't like that we didn't actually get any kind of real look into what their friendship or relationship was like before all this. Like, I almost wish we would have had like a kind of like a prologue scene at the beginning of them creating this before we dive straight into them
Free
being
City.
in Free City. Like, it would have been kind of cool seeing them, in one of their dingy little apartments and working on the game and building it and creating it. And even if we had just seen like Keys like kind of lean back from his computer and you can see a glimpse of his monitor where he's working on Guy. Hey, what do you think of this guy?
Yeah.
Just something real subtle to like give us a like idea of here's how close or not close they really were before all this shit happened.
Well, you
So
had the interview.
Yeah, you have-
Where
She
she's like,
talked
we're just
about
friends,
we're
we're
just
just friends.
it's
and-
true, but it was so quick.
Yeah,
Well, and it only shows, we're just friends. Like, she's...
okay.
He kind of seems sad when she says that.
Yeah,
he
you
seems
get a
so sad.
very brief like look on his face.
But I can
Bro, I've been there.
wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yeah, on that scene, it kind of feels like it was maybe like a reshoot or something, like, because their relationship feels not very real, also, in my opinion. Because, A, that we never see his apartment ever again, and B, that's the only time that clip's ever, like, used. And that's the only other time we get, like, reference to really their, like, game and or them working on it.
Yeah, they really needed the opportunity for us to care about their game and their relationship. And like we get pieces of it and it's like, okay, yeah, obviously Antoine's a douche and he stole his game. That's not okay. But like I said, I really wish we would have gotten this like maybe like a 5-minute prologue, like montage of just days and nights passing of them working on this game and spending all this time together.
You could even go like the Groundhog style, where like they wake up and they're like, "Hi, Goldie" or something.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. I think we just needed that little bit more to like really care about them and the game.
Do I really care about Keys? Not really. Do I care about Guy? Absolutely.
I think
It's
that's
Ryan Reynolds.
that's the other big issue is if Keys and Guy were 1-to-1, I would find myself caring about them and caring about the romance, but Keys and Guys are not 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Yeah. My least favorite part, which is probably kind of dumb, I don't really feel like the characters are all that smart in this movie. Like,
Catchphrase.
well, yeah, but like them not being able to figure out that he's not a computer program or like an actual AI seems like it takes on way too long.
Especially when they're talking about as smart as like Keys and Millie are supposed to be.
Yeah, and like how they made this revolutionary AI system.
They
So-
should be smarter than that. Well, she
Yeah.
especially.
Like-
I mean,
Which, yeah, they have that throwaway line. His friend Mauser says, he's like, aren't you some MIT super genius or code writer or something? And
Here's
they're
a subtle hint that he's super smart.
or supposed to be.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of really smart people lack common sense, so maybe that's how they can explain that away.
Could be.
Or it seemed like it wasn't the first time they've had a person use a NPC skin hacker type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
possible.
I would imagine that it's probably fairly common in games like that. But considering that both Keys and Millie think that they're using the AI coding, it makes sense if you think one of the characters is an AI.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Would think you can connect the dots there. I think that's a great point, Sam.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Also, okay, I'll totally drop it after this. Corey, Sam, and Katie, I'll ask all you guys. Okay, so let's say you have a good friend, right? Years, maybe 5 years, maybe clearly by the movies, let's say 6 years plus. Best friends with them, great friends, have no romantic feelings. You find out the whole time they had feelings for you, I'd be creeped out.
I don't think creeped out is the right word. I think I would feel bad. I would think that maybe they're...
The only reason they're hanging around you is because they like you and not because we're friends. So I don't know.
I don't think I would be creeped out.
Yeah, I don't think creeped out is the right word. I think that I would feel sad for that reason. I would be like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be a mixture of emotions. I think there would be, if you like just realized, there would obviously be like a sense of shock.
Yeah.
Then I think there would also be a sense of flattery because this person is that dedicated to me that even though they're realizing I am not returning these romantic feelings, they're still willing to spend that amount of time to be around me just to be friends.
Katie wants a stalker.
Yeah.
I did not say I
I'm
want to
just
stalk
kidding.
I-
But I'm just saying, I think it would be a mixture of emotions, but I don't think that I would feel creeped out.
Yeah, I don't think creeped out. I mean, if I went into their house and found out they were stealing my hair, yeah,
Yeah.
a little different.
I think,
That
yeah.
would be creepy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
but
think it's depending on how the situation is handled.
yeah, I mean, if I went up to them, I was like, do you have a crush on me? You please answer honestly. Yes. Okay. I still really want to be your friend, but I can't return these feelings. And if they flip shit, yeah, it's a little...
Yeah.
Seems like he
It's hard.
flipped shit and went to work for Anton.
I think what
no,
happened is they
that's
they
not...
they were published by him, and they were working on the game. He scrapped it because it wasn't going to do well
Yeah.
sales wise.
At least he thought.
Well,
Yeah, or at least he
Mhm.
thought. And then
He just stayed.
Keith stayed because it was
yeah.
a paycheck, and
But he-
she left because
Yeah.
as a sense of pride because she wanted to prove herself.
That also could have been the 5-minute prologue scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he.
That would have been great.
So like this guy who didn't want to do this lawsuit with you, but now the second you give him attention and you need him again, he's back. I don't know. He just seems like a neckbeard. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I think he's as a neckbeard as someone who used to be a fat incel neckbeard, and I mean fat as in like I'm like was really big incel neckbeard. Like Like the incel community didn't really exist, but I used to be like, if that had existed, I think I would have been a part of it.
Again, explain for older audience.
Oh God, I'm so sorry, you guys. That's what I said. If you guys aren't getting my references off the bat, you probably won't like this movie. I mean, you might like it, but you won't like parts of it. Will definitely not understand. So an incel is involuntary celibate. They're guys who think that God screwed them over genetically and that they can't find women. And the neckbeards are like the not so bad version of that. They're the guys who assume that if all they are is nice to a woman, then eventually she will return the interest, and that's the issue. Is
So would you say neckbeard and simp are interchangeable?
No.
No, because neckbeard, you had a creepy factor.
Okay,
I
so
think
go simp,
Neckbeard,
incel.
Yeah.
Okay.
To give a good way to describe
We have to
it.
make a chart.
Can that be one of our shirts?
Yes!
Please.
So to give an idea.
Can I be the one step below incel?
Can we start rating guys in movies based off this chart?
Yes,
Let's do
yes. To give like a better idea, more general, I guess. A simp is somebody who is just like overly obsessed with a woman without the stalker factoring. So like we talked about earlier, somebody who will give all the money, whatever, for this
They
person.
basically are okay with being a sugar daddy with getting nothing in return.
Very
Yeah, but it
okay
doesn't
with
necessarily have to do with money.
But
Yeah.
they're giving affection in replace of money is
Yeah.
the parallel I'm making.
Neckbeard, and if you're a woman, you probably know exactly what I'm about to say. A neckbeard is when you go into a comic shop and you're a woman and you literally just walk in and every person turns and looks at you and stares. It is the most uncomfortable feeling, literally ever. Those people are neckbeards.
Yes.
And they will open the door for you, tell you look pretty, and then when you say thank you and walk away, they call you a whore. Incels, thank God, fucked them up and they'll never be able to get laid, and it's not their fault, and they're bitter and angry about it.
I've spent time on incel forums. Not as an incel.
Did you comment on any of them?
No,
Did you
No,
just look at them
when
and
Kurt
go,
wants
"Thank-"
to feel good about himself, he goes on incel forums and goes,
At least
I
I'm
used to
not
be
that
one
bad.
of you. No,
Yeah.
you've gotten kicked off of them a couple of times. You'd be like,
no,
at least I'm not that
actually,
bad.
I'm actually completely banned from the incel website. I have not been back.
He used to be like, I used to be like you guys, and then I actually did something with my life, and now I have a girlfriend.
No, I wouldn't be that gloaty, but yeah,
Yeah,
I always try
right.
to help refer my
Pixar didn't
incel.
happen.
I could. I have photos of myself. You could tell.
No, you couldn't be an incel because you're tall.
Yeah, that's real true.
So like
I'm
these
sorry.
people think that genetics really fucked them over. They could
Like-
be like totally normal looking people and they'd be like,
You know what's real
my
sad though?
God.
This dude made the same dating profile in 3 cities. In the city where he said he was 6'1", he got 4 times the matches.
sorry, Kurt.
For what? I'm great.
All right.
Well, that was
I don't
a
know how to
weird
segue.
tangent.
I don't know how to segue. I guess we were laughing, so funniest moment.
Man,
There's no good segue from that. I'm so sorry.
I'm excited about
I was
this
set up
coming
for
out.
failure there.
For me, it's gotta be dude because I didn't talk about it, but
Catchphrase.
Yeah. I mean, I already talked about dude, so
yeah, I mean, there's not really much to add, but I mean, that whole fight with him's great.
the whole everything with him,
Yeah.
even after the fight.
The only other one I guess I could say, so I don't repeat ourselves on dude too much, would be when he kills Dwayne The Rock Johnson's like avatar, or it's the little girls coming in to rob the bank,
Yeah.
and he's like, he's so sleepy. He's just resting in pieces.
That man is dead.
I think the part with Channing Tatum's,
That one's awesome.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
that part is so good.
and then like when he's just like you see him talking so animated, and it cuts back to him, and he's like, "All right, you guys, check out my stream," and he has the most just
Deadpan.
deadpan look on his face.
Yes.
And the conversation with his mom about the sock,
Oh, and
I
then
wasn't
switching
ready for
back
that
to
joke.
Tatum for that conversation is chef's kiss.
Yeah, the
was
constant
so
back
great.
and forth is fantastic. Gosh. There are so many scenes that are funny in this, but I guess I'm going to go with one of my favorites because I feel like I'm just gonna sit here and list off all the funny shit. I love when Millie and Keys are like talking about that he's an NPC and Millie is like flipping the fuck out, and they're sitting on the couch now and she's on the arm of the couch and she's just like, yeah, but I kissed him, and she does this like squirrely like teenage girl like fuck I fucked up kind of like thing, and it's so funny to me because just like the mannerisms, and I'm like, yep, I've definitely done that before.
Wait, you've kissed an NPC?
You've met Tyler, right?
Is this how you got to women's prisons or got out?
No, I don't know, just her mannerisms there just made me laugh because it's so genuine. It's like, oh shit.
That is something somebody would actually do.
Yeah, it's funny to me. I also really love when a guy is in the coffee shop and asks for a cappuccino and everyone turns to stare at him, and then you see the tank outside of the window and the gun on the tank slowly turns to stare at him, and he's like, I'm just messing with you. I think I will go with my regular.
That one's pretty great. But when we were talking about them being on the couch, I did also like the part where Keys talks about how like the barista made a cappuccino through trial and error. Wow,
Same.
words are hard.
Thank you.
And then the bombshell characters, they say she wrote a
Memoir.
yeah,
It's a little
And-
preachy in parts.
yeah.
Yeah,
That was pretty great.
There's
That
some
was
really
great.
great.
There's
funny shit.
a ton of great quips, liners.
And the movie never lingers. It's back to back to back.
And it's none of it really like feels forced either, which is great, because sometimes with, comedies it just feels like when they are so back to back, some of it's just too forced, and it's like, okay, it's not as funny as you guys think it is.
There's not a lot of jokes in this movie that don't land. And if one doesn't land, you're immediately going into the next one so you don't even notice.
The only one I don't think I've heard land, and even when we saw it in theaters, is when they're like talking about the world, like the real world, comparing it to the game world. He's like, how many banks are robbed? And she's like, almost none. How many corpses do you see? None per hour. What about gun violence? And be like, yep, there's a lot of gun violence. It didn't, nobody laughed in our theater, so...
It got a chuckle out of me.
Yeah, I mean, I
was-
laughed. It wasn't like a hearty laugh like some of the other shit, but it
Yeah.
was just like, yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess my next question is, what was your favorite cameo or pop culture reference?
God, I was just so worried it was going to be cringe, but the streamers and the YouTubers,
They're sprinkled in so nicely.
They were sprinkled in, and the Ninja one was cringe, just because I think Ninja himself is, especially because of all of the Raid Shadow Legends ads with him as a character.
What about the Jeff Goldblum ones? You hate those?
No, it's Jeff Goldblum. I mean, I hate the Raid Shadow Legends. I just see him everywhere. But hey, Raid Shadow Legends, sponsor us, and I love you. I don't know. It really worked well for me, and the first one I saw, I'm like, oh god, this is gonna be so bad, and then it wound up being really fun.
Yeah, they did a good job of making sure that those were in there, but they weren't overdone. So I think if they'd given them more time than what they got, I would have been like, okay, this is enough.
Yeah, but I'm like, okay, if we're assuming all of this is real, yeah, these YouTubers would have videos on it, and they gave us just enough to be like, hey, not enough to be like, ugh.
Yep. I know what my favorite pop culture reference was,
Your
and that
boyfriend's
was,
in it.
yeah, one of them. The fight with Dude and Guy, and Guy grabs the glasses and puts them on, and fucking Captain America's shield comes up, and the Avengers soundtrack comes on, and then it cuts the screen, and there's Chris Evans about doing a spit take, and has his phone in his hand, and just what the shit? When we saw this in theaters for the first time, I was just like, whoa, oh my god, it was great. I laughed so freaking hard, but just especially when you think about, again, we're gonna go Marvel nerd over here, in Age of Ultron, when Cap does the language, it still cracks me up when Chris Evans cusses, because he is so polar opposite of what Steve Rogers actually is, and it's hilarious to me. But I absolutely love that whole scene. Is just filled with pop culture references, and I love it. The lightsaber, Hulk's fist, all of it. It's great.
I don't know.
Was it the lightsaber, bro? Just say it's the
Yeah,
lightsaber.
it was the lightsaber.
Come on, man.
Oh, is that a lightsaber?
Better lightsaber fight than any of the sequel movies.
Shit.
Am I wrong though?
No.
The Forest one was cool. I
Yeah.
like The Force Awakens, though. That's
I
my
do
hot
too.
take for the matinee. I think it's the best Star Wars movie.
I would not say it's the best Star Wars movie, but it's the best out of the sequels.
Corey?
What's your favorite Star Wars movie?
The look of disdain on Corey's face right now.
I can't wait for Kurt to pick Phantom Menace since this
Oh
99
my
movie.
We're gonna segue back to that.
Um,
Anyway, favorite pop culture reference, Corey, or cameo?
that's a great question. My favorite cameo is definitely Channing Tatum. But as far as like pop culture reference, there's a couple of scenes where there's a ghost from Pac-Man in the background that just kind of appears.
I didn't notice that. I feel so stupid.
Congratulations, Kurt.
I guess we gotta watch the movie again.
Oh,
Darn.
no.
Darn, I'm so
I
sad.
really liked that little touch. I also kind of noticed like a weird resemblance of the part with the axe where he's chopping up all of the servers. That really reminds me of The Shining quite a bit.
Damn, yeah. That is 100% Jack Torrance.
Yeah, it is. So I'm going to say the ghost officially because I don't think the other one is supposed to be like a reference, but it really feels like it.
Whoa.
There's
like
a lot of
my-
parallel there.
It's like could totally be a supernatural reference, but it's definitely not.
Yeah, it's that moment.
Or the could totally be a Bayonetta reference when they're on the bike
The
with
bike!
the guns.
I forgot about that. I'm changing mine to the bike scene.
So
That seems
there's,
great, too.
There's a scene in Bayonetta, and I just had to beat it recently, like on Christmas or
Fucking
so.
love this game.
It's a real good game, but there's a scene where the love interest is on a bike, and he's kind of like Guy, where he's kind of naive and kind of stupid, and then Bayonetta gets on the front of it and starts shooting, except she also has feet guns, so it's way cooler.
Because it's a Japanese game.
Oh, Bayonetta's so good.
Bayonetta is so good. I fucking love those games.
Well, speaking of video games, what's everybody's favorite game? And give me a little heart to it. Why is it your favorite game? Don't everybody answer at once.
I'm thinking. There's been a lot of really good games this year, or past few years that I love, so.
Well, I really love the Legend of Zelda franchise. Just as a general. I also, as just mentioned, really love Bayonetta. I am so excited for the third one. I've been waiting for so long, and there was such a long period of time where they didn't have any updates about it. They were just like, yeah, it's coming along. Yeah, it'll be here someday. Literally, they were like, do you know an approximate date? No.
It's
going
happening.
good, though.
It's happening.
It's-
We just don't know
yeah.
when.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many it's in an article that's Bayonetta 3 confirmed, still in development.
Yeah. Because it came out in like 2014 and they're releasing it this year. The last one.
Wow.
Well, the last one was the second one, so this is the third one. But
8 years later.
yeah.
That's crazy.
And
Meanwhile, you got Call of Duty pumping out a game every year.
yeah.
Well, breaking news on that. Next year they're taking a break for the first time since 2002.
That's almost
Those
the whole
poor
life.
guys.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tyler and I measure our relationship and how many Call of Duty games have come out.
You're gonna have to
Well,
change
he's
it up
an
now.
NPC.
Anyway,
How else would he measure it?
facts.
The Legend of Zelda games, I'm gonna say those ones were my favorite because they have the most sentiment to me. Funny enough, the only reason I bought a Legend of Zelda game was because Kmart was closing, and we had Kmart points. My mom was like, go get something. I was like, this is the only game left. I'll pick this one.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, it had come out on the Wii, and I freaking fell in love with it. And then I played Skyward Sword, and then I played Ocarina of Time, and I do not truly understand why that gives people so much trouble. Because that game is like, when you talk to people about Legend of Zelda games, they'll be like, oh my god, Ocarina of Time, hardest thing ever. The Water Temple, hardest thing to ever exist. It's not. It's really not. I don't know if I'm like big brain or something, or if everybody else is just like
Small brain.
small but smooth. But
There's water in my video game? I can't swim in real life.
yeah, that right there. But it was I've always really liked video games, but it was never something that I was like into, really. Like I had them, I had a Game Boy, I had a DS. But Legend of Zelda was the first time that I was like
In love with a game.
yeah, in love with the game and actually really enjoyed it and wanted the story, wanted more.
Yeah.
It was the wanting more, I guess. And Bayonetta is just fucking great. Love that. I love everything about it. I do.
What about you, Kurt?
Oh God, you're
Dragon Quest.
No, I really do love Dragon Quest, but I really love them as like a guy who grew up playing RPGs. It's almost like they're the first ones, they're the primo ones. So it's almost like my whole life I've enjoyed like food, and then I'm finally going to go to the primo food. That's what it feels. But I think personally for me, I'll get sappy. I'm going to say Kingdom Hearts 2 for the amount of hours Sam and I played that game growing up.
Gay.
I still remember there was this one boss, and
Was
of
it
course
Seraph? Was that his name?
Sephiroth, and then
Yeah,
there
there
was
we go.
there was Dimix as well.
See how important it was to Sam?
Sam's like,
no,
yeah,
no,
that
Sam,
one.
remember this? Remember the dance water dance guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
I for real fucking thought you were gonna say Persona games. I was gonna be like,
no. I said I'm gonna get sappy, so it's just shush. But yeah, I have so many fond child memories playing Kingdom Hearts 2 specifically. I don't think we really liked the first one.
I don't think we got past like the second world.
No, we never did. And like,
I can't even remember the boss that we got stuck onto and we never beat.
I think we got stuck on the giant lizard one in Tarzan.
Maybe. I don't.
Yeah. But I remember that night, like, you and I took turns trying to beat Dimix and finally beating it, and it was like...
The greatest thing ever.
Yeah. I still remember that day. Like, just like we spent like a good week fighting that boss.
You achieved all your life's goals right then and there.
I did. And then definitely Stardew Valley.
Oh, yes.
I think I was in a real bad place when I found that game, and it kind of taught me that starting over is okay, and that you can build new things and, you know, give people crystals to make them fall in love with you. That's also a lesson I learned.
where are
from that
my
game.
crystals?
You don't eat them, okay? So I can't.
I don't eat them.
Yeah, the character in it eats
Yeah.
crystals. Abigail, I love her to death.
Is she your go-to? That doesn't.
Abigail
I mean,
or
it wouldn't
Haley?
surprise
Abigail
me
or Haley?
either. Actually, Abigail I see more than Haley. Can you guess my go-to?
Your go-to Shane, because he's a mess, and you think you can fix him.
I did fix him, damn it. To be
Yeah.
fair, there's not a lot of. I mean, there's some great options.
I mean, Elliot's awesome.
I guess that's a no.
Anyway.
I mean, Elliot's definitely the gay option. I'm sorry. Like.
Kurt as Chavio, you just want your Fabio.
Yeah, I do. And then you know, Corey's definitely right. The Persona series also, the music in that game provides a weird sense of comfort because I used to go to sleep to it. So you can play the LeBlanc coffee shop sounds, and I'll probably get a little sleepy. And
The
those
white
games have a place
coffee.
in my heart. LeBlanc, yeah, the white coffee. But no, I was definitely in a real bad place when I found Stardew that night. Like, I was in a real bad depression trying to find a game, and I saw it was on sale, and I bought it just because I'm like, oh, this is a bullshit farming game. I won't even enjoy it. And then I've actually platinumed it.
It's such a fun game. I think you were the one that got me into
absolutely,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think I own it. I know I own it. I own it on my Xbox. I own it on my Switch, and I think I even bought it on my phone. So, yes, Stardew is fantastic. You did forget one, Kurt.
What did I forget?
Dragon Quest.
Yeah,
You've talked about on every other podcast.
I've talked on every other podcast. Well, I said, I mean, it's really good, but again, you know, I got into it. Okay, for perspective, it is sometime in the winter. I got into it sometime in the fall of this year.
So it's recent.
It's very, very recent love. But if we're talking like lifelong or
Actual,
multiple years,
yeah.
Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy,
Persona.
Stardew Valley, and Persona, or SMT as a whole.
Yeah. And Samuel?
There's so many games. I guess for my childhood, I remember playing Battlefront 2 a lot, especially with Kurt a
Oh
lot,
man.
Yep.
and Katie. Probably then like my next, like one of my like teenage years, like my next favorite set of games were the Mass Effect games, because I've played them a lot and even rebought them for the remaster. And then probably my like favorite game of like recent memory is the new God of War of 2018. It's so good, and I was never even really a big fan of the other God of War games, but that story's so great. I don't want to reveal too much about it because I just
go play it, bro.
Yeah.
It's worth buying a PS4 for. I'll Kobe
Yeah.
that answer.
or even just now for a PS5 so you can play it and then be ready for God of War Ragnarok, the finale to that story,
I think that'll finally be what I'm able to justify
for a PS5. Same.
because it's exclusive. Like I mentally every time I go to buy one, I'm like,
You don't really need it till then, in my opinion, but
yeah. I remember waiting to play Horizon, and you're not going to mention Destiny though. I wanted to say that.
I did also spend a lot of time on Destiny,
You
and
did.
and for we'll talk about it in my what I've been enjoying.
Real quick, I'm gonna Kobe something in that I most definitely forgot
Did you
about.
say Kobe something? Anna?
Yeah.
R.I.P.
GG, Katie. GG. Literally. So.
That's fucked, bro.
Désolé. Sorry. So, there was this. I stopped playing video games for a pretty hot minute. I was working all the time, focused on like moving and trying to get my life figured out for a couple of years. It was actually a really long time that I stopped playing video games. And then this game called Code Vein came out. I was. Yes, Kurt?
Yeah, Corey had an unhealthy. I think she still does. I think she's in like a weird like off period with it right now. But I have never watched Corey just come home, turn on a console, and sit down and not even eat. Like,
Bro, I didn't care. I was like, I'm out here. I'm just trying to save Jack's fucking sister. And I'm like, I can't believe. Also, I'm not very good at video games. I'm kind of fucking shit at it. It took me way longer than I should have to
Okay.
complete that. But,
I feel that in my soul.
yeah, right? But like, oh man, that got me right back into playing video games. And
Rekindled the love.
it did rekindle a lot. The only reason that I started playing with it was that it had a really in-depth character customization. I was like, oh, that'd be cool.
We love it.
100 hours later, why can't I kill it? Why can't I kill it? Why can't I kill it? Super fun game, kind of hard. Highly recommend.
So, Katie, what's your favorite? Even though I could probably take a guess at it.
I've got two. And maybe an honorary mention for a third. One would be The Sims. I grew up playing that. I remember when my mom got the very first one, and I was in like elementary school, and I think it was a snow day. And my mom had just installed the game. She hadn't even like actually sat down to play it yet. It just finished installing, and I was like, "Oh, can I try this?" And she's like, "Sure, I guess." Fell in love with it, and so
Obsessed.
I've played every Sims game that has come out since. That's one that either I will like dive in and play for 6 hours, don't bother to go to the bathroom, get anything to eat, nothing. I am like there enthralled in that game, and that'll go on for a couple months, or I'll take a hiatus, and I like right now I haven't played in probably like 3 months. I just go in like kicks of really wanting to play it, but I love The Sims. I love how creative you can be with it, and I know a lot of people like have issues with The Sims 4 and EA in general for all their extra packs and shit. I will say I have never paid full price for any of the packs. I wait till all of it's on sale. So I have not spent the insane amount of money on it that most people have. But there's just so much shit that you can do in The Sims 4, and I love it. And then for my other game, and I'm sure this is the one that Sam knows what I'm going to say.
Tomb Raider.
Absolutely. I freaking love Tomb Raider. I still have my original PlayStation. I say it was Dad's original PlayStation. Sitting in the closet over there, and I will break it out and play like the original Tomb Raiders on it every now and then. I just remember being little and watching Dad play it and just so like caught up in what was going on, and that love for it has continued ever since. And then when they did the reboots, I just fell in love with it again. Like, they did such a spectacular job of rebooting those games. I've played through the 2013, right? Yeah,
Yep.
2013 reboot. I don't know how many times. I've played through it on PlayStation 3, played it on my Xbox. I have 100%ed it every single time that I've played it. I really, really love Tomb Raider. I love that there's some heart to it. I love that you've got the puzzles, there's action, all of it. It's like, I don't know. It's everything that I love just kind of like rolled into one little game. And then my honorary mention, and I'll get sappy for a second. And I haven't played it in a hot minute, but I'm going to say Fortnite. And and that's purely because of there was a long period of time where Sam and Kurt would come stay the night at mine and Tyler's apartment, and we would go get dinner, and we would come
At
home.
Applebee's or Chili's.
Yep, because those were the only two options of what was open when Kurt got off work.
Yo, and they had the 2 for $20.
Yep. And we would set up and play Fortnite. I would be on my Xbox, Sam and Kurt on theirs, and Tyler would play on his PC. And we would just play for freaking hours and hours and hours. And we had so much fun with that shit. Even when Tyler would get annoyed at the game and start yelling at it, and then Kurt would make fun of him. Yo, how did he hit me? I did like a 360 backflip. There's no way that he hit me.
Bro, I 5-clipped him.
Yeah. But there were a lot of good memories with that game. And even though I haven't played it in a while, I still just am like, Fortnite, that was always really fun. Even though I was absolute garbage at it.
You should jump in and play again because it's so much fun.
It's pretty lit.
I'll have to download it.
I'm like a level away from Spider-Man, Sam.
Nice. I'm just a little over 100 now, so I'm working on the bonus rewards for the battle pass. Because Spider-Man you can get regular Spider-Man and symbiote Spider-Man in the battle pass, and then the bonus rewards, there's his future foundation when you join the Fantastic Four after Human Torch died, quote unquote.
Cool.
It's lit.
Okay, I guess I'm going to have to download it.
Yeah. I guess I probably should have really expanded on my answers because I didn't really get as heartfelt as everyone else did. But yeah, it's probably a little dumb, but when I bought God of War, it was like the first game I bought with like my paycheck from like the movie theater, so that was kind of cool. It sounds a little weird, but
That's not dumb at all.
Yeah.
No.
That's your first, like, I earned this money and I'm treating myself
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
something with my hard-earned money, so not dumb at all.
Yeah. And then, God, I don't know who told me to like try Mass Effect 2, but that was the first one I played, so that one really like holds like a special place in my heart.
I remember you and Tyler would sit and play.
That was
those
Mass
together.
Effect 3.
Yeah.
Was it?
So,
That was also part of my love for those games because me and Tyler would spend nights,
Yeah.
entire nights from like 10 p.m. I think to like 5 a.m. in the morning playing the co-op mode, like on the weekends.
I'll be.
I don't know why, but we did.
How long ago was it that came out?
That came out in 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was like the year after Tyler and I started dating. So
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that because I was just like so glad that like you and him got along so well and would actually spend that amount of time like hanging out and playing games together. So I will
And
be
then-
thankful for Mass
if-
Effect 2.
if-
Or not
if-
2.
Well,
2
and
as a
2.
2, but as an also.
I will always remember the night. Sam, you remember the night you downloaded it?
I think so.
I do, because Katie made fun of us sitting on the download screen for fucking 2 hours. We were sitting there, and she's like, "A watch kettle never boils." 10 minutes later, watch kettle never boils. And we were sitting there on the download
Watch
screen.
Pot never boils.
Yeah, we were just sitting there on the screen like, it eventually has to, bitch. Like, the download percent was going up.
But if we played a game, it would have gone slower. So
Yeah.
It's easier to just sit there and watch.
It's easier, Katie, for us to make fun of us for like an hour while it downloaded. Back when games
Absolutely.
took an hour to download.
And then I guess
I
like,
love sharing these childhood memories.
That you weren't a part of.
Yeah.
And then I
You were
guess
there in spirit.
I guess I probably should
No, it
throw in an honorable mention to Uncharted, the
Oh,
Uncharted franchise.
I thought about it also.
I thought you were gonna say Uncharted and then tell a sob story about your dad.
I have one. And it's a sob story about me, not him. Because of Uncharted.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so do you want to do your nice thing first and then I'll say my mean thing?
I mean, I love those games. Very great. Probably played way too much with that multiplayer. That
Yes.
to be honest, it's like a fine multiplayer. I don't,
It's not great.
but our
It's fun,
dad
though.
still loves it, so I won't talk crap on it too much. Or at least he plays it still. I don't know if he truly enjoys it as much as he used to.
I do love the Uncharted games. Those are a lot of fun, and that some of that love for it also comes because of Dad, because it's
Yeah.
something he really enjoys.
He
But-
taught us all the bad words.
He did.
Taught you all the bad words.
Bro, he really did.
So many bad words.
Some we probably won't ever say on this podcast. But
Probably for the better.
probably my favorite memory of Uncharted 3 is Dad would always make me load up the plane mission to show all our uncles like how cool that game was, and all of them being blown away by it.
Oh
Yes.
my god, that's so adorable.
It's awesome.
And then also playing Rock Band. We played a lot of Rock Band on
yes.
Oh
holidays.
my god.
We got-
Unlocked memory real quick. I used to play Just Dance with my sister, and now she's kind of crippled, so we can't anymore.
I think you shared that in another one.
I think so too, but like
I think
that
in the
was
Christmas-
like the first game that I ever got that I could play with other people. Besides Mario Kart, I had a friend who had Mario Kart and Soul Calibur, but like, oh my god, Lump was my song. Wannabe was great. I fucking loved that. What were you gonna say, Katie?
I was gonna agree about Rock Band. We got Beatles Rock Band for Christmas, and there were a lot of good memories with that. But I'm gonna go into my Uncharted hate story real quick, and then we can move on
Or what we're enjoying.
to our fun counters and all
Oh
that.
yes.
So first Uncharted had just come out. We had just gotten that like big screen TV, the really chunky one, like what you got in your basement, Kurt, the fat ass
Yeah.
one, and they hadn't even gotten rid of the old TV yet. It was sitting next to it, and so this is when I think I was in. God, I had to have been 7th grade because it was when my eardrum ruptured, and
Or were we moving from the big one to the like a flat screen?
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was because the table was next to it. Yep, you were right. Anyway, Dad is in the living room playing this newfound love game of his, and he is just living for it. And I am in the bathroom that is off of the living room, and I feel like I am dying because my ear hurts so bad. And in hindsight, like, we didn't know that my eardrum had ruptured. They thought it was just an ear infection, but I was so sick and my ear hurt so bad. And all I could think was, wow, my dad cares more about this game than he does about me, and I'm dying.
I have met Mike. He cares more about Uncharted than he does the two of you combined. Let's be honest here. Like, I remember one day, I'm like, hey, Mike, who's your favorite kid? And he looked at you guys, and I think looked over at the PS3, and I knew.
Probably right. All right, we ready for some fun counters?
I think so.
Can I do my favorite fun counter?
All right, yes, Kurt, you can do your counter.
Yo, we didn't pause the movie for the I think the first time on this podcast.
You might be. You might
maybe
be
in
right.
like a couple months.
I mean, I think Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I don't think we paused that.
Watch us be considerably wrong.
Someone should fact check us and go back and listen to all our episodes and let us know.
Yeah, if you do and you DM me on Twitter, I'll send you a thumbs up.
A thumbs up.
I'll react.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I'll start with one of my fun counters.
Sure. Then I'll jump in.
Which one should I do first? Because I don't know.
What are the options?
The first one is how many times Ryan Reynolds was just Ryan Reynolds in the movie, and then the other one was all the cameos in the movie.
Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds.
Okay. Ryan Reynolds was just Ryan Reynolds a total of 11 times.
Maybe more that weren't just caught.
That's true. My personal favorite is when they're in Channing Tatum.
Revengeman Buttons.
Yeah, Revengeman Button's house, and he's like on the cover of the car, and he slowly just squeaks off the hood of it.
Yeah.
It's like, does this look intimidating? Guys, it was like curled up. Like,
It's great. It's my favorite.
Do you think your cats just stack themselves up on top of one another and Jerry pick the lock? No.
Bro,
They
that's
don't
what our
have
dog does.
thumbs.
Like, seriously, our dog, she's crate trained. She has some anxiety issues, so it's better for her. It kind of helps with that.
She wears really cute shirts.
She does wear really cute shirts. But literally at nighttime we'll be trying to sleep and you just hear her trying to open the fucking crate with her tongue. She'll lick, and it's making this dinging noise because she's licking the lock part to try to get it to move.
And you can see her tongue just flapping through it. And I'll be like, Harley, and she'll just look at me and continue to do it.
She makes eye
She's
contact.
like, let me out.
Yeah, she'll like, let me out.
I'm your boyfriend now. Alright, Sam, hit us.
so I have all the pop culture references I could count or see. I didn't really count them, so I guess if somebody wants to keep track of the number.
Kurt's gonna do it.
Okay, so first ones are the Halo vehicles. We get the Mantis, the mech, and then the Scorpion tank, Pac-Man Ghost, the portal gun. I'm not really sure if these count, but it looks like Apex Legends, Wraith, and Mirage.
There's also a Street Fighter character in the background, one of the scenes.
I missed that, so there we go.
Add it to it. GG, Corey.
I'm pretty sure that's what I saw.
It's not really entirely pop culture reference, but it is pretty prominent in online video games. But there's a lot of teabagging in the movie, or as I like to call it, or bunny hopping, where like you just see people randomly jumping for no reason. So there's a guy wearing a Resident Evil RIPD like uniform or like costume from like Resident Evil. There's an Infinity War poster and Deadpool poster, Dungeon Master Guide, Jack Skellington, Stranger Things lanyard, Rick and Morty poster, Freddy Krueger statue or figurine. What you talking about, Willis? Is said Padawan and Emperor, Cap shield, Hulk hand, lightsaber, gravity gun from Half-Life, and Fortnite pickaxe.
I'm totally gonna make a sound clip of Sam saying what you talking about, Willis.
And my very monotone voice.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
So
Is that the final total of 24?
I'm sure there were more that we just don't
Probably.
understand.
Probably more that we missed.
I guess if you want to count the streamers, but I don't really want to.
Well, funny you say that because I counted them in my other fun counter, which was
cool.
all the cameos. So if somebody wants to actually count how many cameos there are,
Well,
Kurt...
you're saying actually count like I didn't last time.
No, I'm saying I didn't actually
Oh,
count it. I
okay.
just made a list. I wasn't calling you out. Kurt actually counted.
I'm counting.
Kurt's our official counter for the pod. All right, Kurt, you got me?
I got you.
All right, we're starting off strong with Channing Tatum. Then there was Hugh Jackman, who is the masked guy in the alley that Molotov Girl shoots. There's The Rock, who's a bank robber. They've got Good Morning America with Laura Spencer. Then we get Ninja, Jack Septic Eye, Dan TDM. We also get Alex Trebek. There's Pokimane. Tina Fey was the mom vacuuming in the background. We have John Krasinski and my personal favorite, Chris Evans.
And laser beams, another.
Oh,
and
yep.
there's another guy, I don't know his name.
Okay, there were
So,
other people I missed.
13,
So
I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
14.
14.
14. So
I can do math.
there's some pretty solid cameos in this.
You know what the weirdest one to me is John Krasinski, because I don't think I've ever seen him and Ryan Reynolds like in a project together. So,
I
I
wonder
wonder
if
if
they're
gonna
just
say
buddies.
Alex Trebek. I was gonna say Rip.
yes, this is technically his final film appearance.
What a Chad. Like, I'm sorry, but like when I heard he died, my first thought was, wow, what a Chad. Like, let's be honest here. Alex Trebek lived a great life.
Yeah.
That dude seemed happy.
I mean, he's incredibly recognizable. So yeah, he's made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when I heard Betty White died. What a Chad.
bruh, she was the biggest dick on people. She was like, you don't like black people? I'm gonna dick on you.
She forced the studio to hire him, right?
Yeah, she did. The tap dancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna circle back to you with John Krasinski. I just googled it. Apparently, John Krasinski and Emily Blunt have been really good friends with Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively for a long time. So they're just good friends.
Okay.
Although it looks like they were in a movie together, but it's called Imaginary Friends.
Interesting. Never heard of it. Maybe we need to watch it.
Well, add it to the list.
Always growing, rarely shrinking list.
Speaking of lists and movies, does anybody have anything they'd recommend that if you liked Free Guy, you would watch this one too? Or should watch it?
Other Ryan Reynolds movies?
Bro, I was gonna say Detective Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu is so much fun.
It is so much fun. We saw that for our 1 year, didn't we, Kurt?
Oh, we did actually.
I've not actually watched it. I need to.
It's fun.
It's
It's pretty much what you would expect as a Pikachu. As
Live action movie.
Ryan
we
Reynolds.
could put it on the list.
Some of the Pokemon designs, I gotta be honest, are cursed.
They are so
are-
creepy.
It's
They
great, though.
are-
I like it, though.
Ryan Reynolds is kind of just Ryan Reynolds in this movie, and I'll admit it's.
I don't fully agree with that. There are times, absolutely. A lot of it, no.
But yeah, but I feel like if you like one Ryan Reynolds comedy, you're safe bet to watch all of his other recent comedies.
Yeah.
I think there's probably like 2 or 3 that I can think of that if you liked this movie, you may not like those ones. Like The Proposal. That's a rom-com. That's straight up a rom-com. That is
How recent is the Proposal though?
2009.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said recent Ryan Reynolds movies. Ever since Deadpool.
Yeah, pre-Deadpool, he was pretty good at actually becoming the characters. Ever since Deadpool, he's pretty much just
They're hiring him
himself.
to be him. Yeah.
Which is understandable. He's great.
I mean, that's why you hire an A-list actor. It's like, I want this person to be in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't really know, because I can't really recommend any video game movie.
I've been meaning to wait till you get to this. Katie, do you recommend the Tomb Raider movie?
No. Neither one. Any of them. All horrible.
You know what? An unrelated movie to Ryan Reynolds, I'm going to say if you liked this movie, you would probably like Red. Red 1 and 2. The second one was actually decent. Unlike most sequels.
But this is really taking me a lot longer to figure out than I would have thought. I guess the obvious choice would be Ready Player One, but I don't really like that movie.
Read the book instead.
I tried writing it. I didn't like it.
Okay.
You tried writing it? I didn't know you wrote books.
That's my thing.
I feel like it's kind of hard to have a good pop culture movie that's not cringy or dated.
I'm so curious to see what this movie looks like in 5 years.
Like, this movie's going to be dated in 5 years. It's like why a lot of spoof movies don't do well later on. Like, The Hunting Games
Yeah.
is really bad. Like, Flossing. Like, I mean, weirdly, Fortnite stayed relevant, but in 10 years from right now, if I show my kid this, they're like, what is he doing?
I
I mean,
It's an
flossing is a dance move outside of Fortnite, and
I
it
don't
has been
dance.
for a long time. Yeah,
to
I
be
know
fair,
you don't.
but I didn't really know what it was until Fortnite.
Just saying that it existed before and it will after. I think that this movie will probably hold up because the references why they make the movie better, they don't make the movie. You don't have to know them to understand what's going on.
The movie isn't, oh my god, there's Ninja. Like, I feel like you're right. In 20 years, if you're watching, you're like, oh,
Who is
that's
this
not
guy?
That's not a real person. That's just a streamer. Like, oh, that's a video game.
You would know
streamer.
it's supposed to be a streamer.
But you don't know it's the specific one.
Yeah.
I can agree with you there.
I think for me, what I would recommend, I think the obvious choice is Deadpool because
Yeah.
of Ryan Reynolds,
Mhm.
which
And
in
action and
it's fun. It's a good laugh. There's a lot of action, which is similar to what's going on. Obviously, it's rated R, so if you're not allowed to watch rated R movies, don't recommend. Like the first time we went and saw it.
why are
in
you listening
theaters?
to this podcast?
Yeah, that's true. The first time we
Sorry.
went and saw it, there was some family of 4 in front of us with, like, actually a family of 5 because they had a baby with them.
Baby was surprisingly quiet during the movie.
Yeah, but the 2 little kids, and anyway, we got to listen to the mom ask for a refund at the end of the movie after they sat through the entire thing.
What a Karen.
Yeah.
Had her time.
Anyway, so Deadpool would be probably my number one recommendation, and then I would go with maybe Zombieland, and I think This Is the End. There are other ones that have a lot of like pop culture references and a shit ton of cameos and stuff like that. And they're a lot of fun. They're not like you got to think too hard about what's going on. They're just a good time.
I could imagine that if you like this movie, you would like Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta recommend Scott Pilgrim.
I think I figured out my recommendation.
Pray tell.
Can I throw one more in
Sure.
before you do? Don't lose your train of thought. Also, Guardians of the Galaxy. Fun soundtrack. A lot of pop culture references.
Mine would be, since it's also a movie about a fictional video game, Tron Legacy, because it's also about
Yeah.
artificial intelligence. And
Can you love them?
yeah,
Except in that one, they could bring them in real life.
it's true. But yeah, I love that movie. I wish we had gotten an actual sequel to it. I guess we're kind of getting one now, but I don't know. That movie was, I feel like, a little bit ahead of its time. But
I remember
and that
I think-
soundtrack is great.
you and I watched that movie a lot.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
I love
guys
it. Don't
did.
get me wrong. I'm not bashing on Tron Legacy. I can't do it.
Sam watched it even more when you weren't around too. So
It's a badass movie, and the video game's halfway decent too. Really go full.
Yeah, I
I
don't.
mean, it's a Prince of Persia knockoff.
but
That's all we're saying.
cyberpunk-ish.
Yeah.
I can't complain.
can I recommend the new Uncharted movie?
Yeah, I mean, it's a video game adaptation.
Yeah, and it's also, I mean, again, action packed, and there's some fun quips in there. I wouldn't say it's as funny as Free Guy is, but there's some good humor in it, and it's fun. It's lighthearted.
Jumanji.
Yes.
The new ones or the old ones?
Both.
Okay.
Yes.
Who doesn't want Jack Black as a teenager?
Teenage girl.
Yeah, a
You-
teenage girl.
I was so nervous about the
Or Robin
sequel, the
Williams.
Jumanji sequel. This is real
Me too.
quick. They're both watch-its for me. I was so surprised by the sequel. I just wanted to Kobe that in real quick.
I haven't watched the sequel yet. I need to. I did thoroughly enjoy the first one because I did go in with very low expectations because I was like, how can you beat the original? But it was a lot of fun. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it, so I do need to watch the sequel.
I have not seen the first one. 'Cause I don't think I was home when it came out.
Could be. It's fun.
Yeah.
You'd enjoy it.
Yeah,
That's
they were
what
fun.
I've heard. I just haven't gotten around to it.
It's going
So-
on the list. All right, guys. What have you guys been enjoying this week?
So one of the actors in this movie is in what I've been enjoying this week, which I've been watching this show called Ghosts. I think I've mentioned it before. But the husband, Sam, sorry, Sam,
I didn't
he's
know
actually
you
a
were
lot
married.
like he's a lot like Sam in the movie, just more vocal and a cook. But he is Mouse. That's the guy's name in the movie, right?
Yeah, the friend,
The friend.
the gentleman that I could not pronounce his name.
Yeah, I don't want to try to pronounce his name either.
Yeah, we're gonna.
That guy, he's in this show. It's actually super fucking funny. I've slowly been watching through it because I only watch it on Wednesdays. And highly recommend. I was very surprised to see him in this movie. I did not know he was in it.
Nice.
I'm not going to surprise a single person with my answer.
Dragon Quest.
5.
Moving on up.
No.
Moving
Or
I've-
back.
Yeah, I've played through 5 once, but so the whole plotline of that game is you marry someone, like you play as a kid, as a young adult, and then as a parent. So like you get to play the different stages of the character's life. It's I think my favorite so far. But at one point you get to get married, and your wife's supposed to be the descendant of this bloodline who births the legendary hero, and so you're not the legendary hero, like the reincarnation. It's your son. So it's kind of interesting shift, but I wanted to pick a different wife, see how different it was, and it's fun. It's the exact same game though. So I've been way too busy to do anything this week.
Nice. I guess I got 3 things real quick. So I'm doing my annual attempt to watch all the Oscar Best Picture movies, which usually fails when I get about halfway through. So I just watched Nightmare Alley by Guillermo del Toro, starring Bradley Cooper.
Guillermo?
Willem Dafoe, there's so many. There's like every famous person Hollywood's in that movie.
Was it good? It looked good.
It was really good. It's on HBO Max. I like the first half of it a little bit more than the second part, but overall I really enjoyed it. So like if it or Dune won Best Picture, I'd be like, okay, I'm fine with that. So there's probably only a couple more I'm gonna watch, because one I'm not gonna watch is called Drive My Car. It's a Korean movie that's 3 hours long.
Sounds like it's up Kurt's alley.
Bro, I was gonna say that.
I don't even know what the
3
premise
hours
of the
long,
movie is, but
Korean.
it's playing in theaters right now. I like Screenland, and I'm like, I don't know if I can sit through a 3-hour movie.
Parasite's 2.5 hours.
Yes, but
We watched Green Knight.
I literally had never heard anything about this movie until I saw like the Best Picture nominations.
I'm just happy that I'm sad that they're both Korean. I mean, I'm not sad that they're Korean, but I'm glad that foreign films are getting recognition.
Yeah.
Let's get something that's not from Korea, because I'm sure there has to be good films that came out. I mean, 2021's a rough year, okay, with COVID. But like 4 years from now, if we got English movies and Korean movies, it's like people speak Spanish. In India.
Roma, I think, won a few years ago. That was.
Yeah, I think Roma's from Spain.
I think
Spanish, or
I
was
think
it
it was Mexico.
Latin?
Yeah.
Mexico. Okay.
But, anyways, and then as we talked about Destiny, I bit the bullet and bought the new Destiny 2 expansion, The Witch Queen, and it's really good.
I won't do it, Sam. I'm sorry, bro.
Well,
I got a job. I don't need to.
That's fair. Because it came out on Tuesday, and I could only play like an hour before I had to go to work. And when I got home, I played it until like 3:30 in the morning.
Those are rookie numbers, bro. I remember we played Destiny all night, and we'd wake up, or not wake up, but like be like, oh, the sun's up. Time to refresh and play more Destiny.
Yeah.
Time to sleep for 30 minutes.
Nah, bro, we ate some breakfast and just went back to playing.
Yeah. But yeah, the story of it might be the best out of all the like Destiny stories. Granted, that kind of sucks that it took 8 years for that, but you know.
You mean the story's not told across a bunch of cards you can view on the mobile app?
No.
That was a real thing when the game first came out, but bro, we thought it was lit. I'm sitting on it now, but I remember like finding a card, pulling to my phone, and be like, oh, it's on my phone.
Yeah, I mean that background story stuff is like really well written. It just sucks that you had to like go and collect it around the game instead of it being in the actual game.
That implies that your phone was actually charged and.
Well,
like,
that's why it was
Kurt.
never charged.
This was never charged. I'm always looking up Destiny lore.
But yeah. So yeah, I mean, I guess to compare it to The Taken King, it's better than Taken King, but it's also kind of a sequel to The Taken King because it's one of Oryx's family members.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. But then the other thing is I've been sort of getting back into comic books, and I'm really sad because Comixology got like integrated like fully into Amazon very poorly, and you can't read them on desktop anymore. Like, because you know the guided view, it doesn't like exist anymore. So I'm really sad.
That's horrible.
Yeah, not to like complain about the smallest thing when there's real world issues going on, but
Sometimes it's the inconvenience that puts you over the edge.
Yeah, it's just that like it worked.
It's your 13th reason.
So well. It worked great, and granted it was a niche thing, but it was just like, why did you have to change it? It was fine. Because I'll show you like how poor it is after this.
I mean, that's my favorite book, The Great Gatsby. It's literally about.
Did you like that TikTok I sent you? Of the like 62 copies of The Great Gatsby.
Oh yeah, did you see my response to that?
I did.
Yeah.
I also sent it to Coeure, and I was like, at me and Kurt.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a great
Oh my
book.
god, you guys are obsessed with that. That's like 90% of the reason that Kurt is obsessed with Lana Del Rey.
Young and Beautiful. I could simp for that song, bro.
Do you have more to add, Sam? Are you pretty well?
I guess I should say the comics I've been reading is because because one of my favorite YouTube channels was talking about these, but started reading the new Thor run by Donny Cates, which kind of actually tied into a season of Fortnite. Won't get into it. I'm not going to talk about it. And then he also wrote, it's also by Donny Cates. It's called Silver Surfer Black, which came out like a little bit after Stan Lee's passing. And Silver Surfer is one of Stan Lee's like favorite characters. So it's kind of like his love letter to Stan Lee. So
I really thought you were just gonna say Spider-Man.
actually, I haven't read Spider-Man in a little bit.
Esa cerveza.
I was gonna say I haven't heard any news from Spider-Man being bad or good since Spider-Man 700 with Doc Ock.
So I mean, yeah, Superior Spider-Man's great. Recently Ben Reilly's been Spider-Man for like the last few months, and they're about to like relaunch it with Peter in like April. So I'm just kind of waiting until then.
I'm gonna have to borrow those from you.
Yeah. And then I guess the other thing is I haven't read it in a little bit, but Chip Zdarsky's like Daredevil run's so good, and I just want it to be like the 4th season of the Daredevil TV show.
Well, now with those officially going to Disney Plus, who knows?
Yeah, because like the premise of like at least the first like 10 issues is like Daredevil creates like the biggest or does the biggest sin like in his religion of accidentally like killing someone, and it's like a really like interesting like look into Matt's character. So
that would be really
dope,
good, especially with Charlie Cox.
Yes,
he's
and
fantastic.
the art's like so good.
I've seen multiple articles of Charlie Cox confirming he's returning.
Yes. Did you see the really sad article where he went into No Way Home?
Mm-mm.
So because like all of his friends were talking about when his scene came on in the theater, everybody was cheering. So him and his wife went in to go like record his reaction to all that. Mm-hmm. Completely dead silent when he came on the screen.
Oh, like it was so fucking sad.
Well, they have to be. Never mind. So they have to be quiet because he can't hear him, but he can't see. I'm so sorry.
You fucked it up.
Yep.
I fucked it up.
You fucked it up.
I fucked it up.
But yeah. Anyways, that's all.
Okay. Well, this week I have been watching the new season of Love Is Blind, and everyone on that is just red flags. All of it. Everyone. They're all horrible. It's so bad.
That's why I don't watch any of those.
And then I finished.
That's part of what makes them great. You feel good about not being one of those people.
Like, man,
that's like the whole reason I still have a
shitty.
Facebook is to look at all my friends who are my age that have kids now and are in an unhappy relationship. Like, I'm so glad I'm not there.
Bro, I'm glad I've lost like 40 pounds since high school and I'm not fat. Look, I'm just saying, like, I saw on Facebook somebody I used to know is. I'm not saying it's not. Look, they've gained like 300 pounds, bro. It's not healthy. They're like 500 pounds.
Speaking of not healthy, I also finished the latest season of Married at First Sight. And remember how I was telling y'all that the one dude found out that his ex was pregnant and everything? So finished it, the final episode of the season is the couples sit down with like the doctors and counselors or whatever who are the people that match them and everything. And anyway, so that couple comes in, and the dude, they've already decided, like, well before now that they're going to get a divorce. Like, I'm talking, like, 8 episodes before this. This is the first time we've seen them on the screen in 8 episodes. And, of course, this dude has the audacity to say when they sit down, oh, yeah, I've been meaning to tell you, the baby mama lost the baby. And I'm like... I don't know. I hate saying it because I don't want to be that person, but I have... thoughts that this was all bullshit and that she was never really pregnant and he just didn't want to be married and he found a way to get out. But to top it off, he had the baby mama sit down and talk with him and the chick that he got married to and all that, and I just red flags, so many red flags. I want him to reach through that TV screen and punch that dude, and it just
That's why I don't watch these
So,
because all those people are terrible.
I think we need to have a Katie and I episode where we watch adults adopting adults. Every clip I've seen from that show.
I have never heard of this.
You haven't heard, Katie? This is right up your alley.
Okay.
This is right up your alley, Katie.
It's about adults, like it's the premise, adults adopting other adults.
Okay.
But one of them, the dude has a history of cheating, and he wants to adopt this girl.
To preference it, he tried to do this before. They tried to adopt an adult
and
before.
He's trying to do it. This girl from like Romania, and he's like constantly calling her beautiful. and like his wife. Oh my god.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to watch this.
So are you saying he's being a simp?
Yeah, he's simping for this poor Romanian girl, except it's gone to like incel creep levels where he's like almost like hired her as a bride, but she's pregnant.
And he's already married.
And he's already married.
And the
No.
wife is, for some reason, in on it.
Oh no.
She doesn't want to be.
That's a little too much. We will. There's a.
It's a lot.
I want to call it.
We'll watch the clip.
We'll
One
have
of,
to.
one of my favorite streamers, Paymoney Wabi, who was not in it, probably because
I love
he's
Paymo.
kind of controversial, but he reacted to it. It's probably one of the funniest streams.
It was real funny because he's straight up like, bro, bro, he's gonna fuck that lady.
Oh god.
You're like, oh god.
Okay, yeah. After this, we'll pull up YouTube and all that. The other thing is, there's two other things. So I have continued to watch Euphoria. I've stuck through it because the first two episodes were kind of hard and I wasn't real sure. I am now at like the beginning of episode 8 or 9. It has gotten so much better. I am understanding the hype more. I get it. I'm actually like enjoying the majority of the plots now. Because before I was just like, I'm not sold on this. There was only like 2 people I really cared about and that was it. But they do this really cool thing that at like the beginning of each episode, they give you like a whole like backstory on one character. So it's a different character on each one. So their plot's a little more focused throughout that episode. But it is getting a lot better and I'm enjoying it way more than I was before. So I'm glad that I've continued to stick to it. It's still not something that I think I can sit and watch the entire season in one sitting, but it's much better than where it was a couple weeks ago. And then the other thing I've been enjoying is it's sitting on the table in front of me, but I got this book at Half Price Books last weekend, and it's called Just Haven't Met You Yet, and it's by...
Michael Bublé?
No. It's by Sophie Cousins. Anyway, it's really cute, and if you're into, like... We'll go with, like, 13 going on 30, rom-com kind of shit. My book, Finally Breathe, all that kind of stuff. It's cute, it's fun, romance, that kind of thing. It's an easy vibe and enjoyable, so... That's pretty much all I've been diving into.
Here's something fun I just wanted to talk about real quick. I sent a picture about it to the group chat. So almost every single time, like when we get together, if we decide we're gonna have a meal together, instead of all eating beforehand, we get pizza usually.
Yep.
And Sam sends a gif of Spider-Man going pizza time.
Yep.
Every time.
Every time. And today, Kurt and I went to Ottawa, Kansas, which isn't that crazy far from where
we live.
Yeah, where we live, where we're based out of. But there's like 2 sides of Ottawa. There's a really old side, and there's the side with the college and everything on it. And we only ever go to the old side because it's got a lot of like really cute little shops. There's this place that I get all my soaps. Highly recommend. It's the soap store. It's the goat milk soap store. Fantastic. Also the people who run it, absolutely lovely people.
So this is not an ad. We just love them.
I just love them so much. I spent like $100 there today on soap and lotion. And there's a pizza place called Pizza Time. It's been there for forever. And every time we see it, I just think about Sam sending that dumb gif, Pizza Time. I'm like, it's meant for him.
I was sitting at the line waiting to go into the car wash when you sent that earlier, and I laughed so freaking hard. I was like, that's perfect.
Is there any photos of Tobey Maguire with the pizza boxes?
We're gonna have to go inside next time. We typically go to the same restaurant, which is the Italian place, because it's cheap and it's really good, and that's really hard to get in the city.
Yeah.
It's like probably the best Italian I've ever had, and Kurt exclusively works with Italian people.
Not exclusively, but
That's
like
a
80%.
fucking lie. Yeah.
Majority.
He's the one part that's makes it not exclusive. You're the one not exclusive Italian person.
No, our driver is a 6'11" black guy.
Oh, that's right, Houston.
Well,
That's not his real name.
Let's say before we sign off, kind of wanted to talk about some of the upcoming things that we've got planned.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah, Kurt, you can go first.
So, I have the full list of movies together, and I almost have the setup figured out because it's actually going to be recorded, which will be our first piece of you can see our faces. So I can't say for all of our
non-visual
watchers. It's going to be called Kurt's Cursed Corner, and it's going to feature me forcing everybody to watch movies that we can't watch on the podcast, or maybe are like maybe cursed to one of us really bad, like forcing Katie to watch The Conjuring, or
Love that
Sam to
movie.
watch Saw,
I'll watch it.
or Corey to watch some weird Korean movie she won't
Like drive my car.
You should
Yeah.
make her watch a Marvel movie.
The Eternals.
Oh God, I haven't even watched that one yet.
That'll be
Oof.
the
That's a rough one to go through.
that'll be the penultimate episode.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Cursed Corner. I told you I'd watch Unfriended.
Yeah, first quarter to watch Thor 2, Hulk, and then Eternals all in one long binge.
Oh my God.
I've seen Thor 2.
There's a
I'm sorry.
guy at work who says The Incredible Hulk's the best Marvel movie. And he hates like Thor Ragnarok and like Spider-Man Homecoming because they're too jokey, and he doesn't like jokes in his superhero movies.
I
Does he
think jokes
also
are the
hate
only
Cars?
things that save superhero movies.
X-Men 2.
Does he also hate cars because the cars have personalities?
Does he
I
hate
haven't
the-
asked him, but maybe.
That's our cousin said they didn't like cars because the cars had personalities. No, I'm not joking.
Then what would the movie be about?
Great question.
You ask them for me next time. Thank you, please. Man, well, are they younger?
No.
Okay, never mind then. I
Yep.
was gonna be like, sometimes kids are just dumb like that. No,
No.
there's no excuse now. What other projects do we have going on?
Y'all.
So Katie bought this ultimate bucket list collection of 100 movies poster. So we're just gonna do like a random number like generator out 1 through 100 to pick. It's very random movies going from like 1917 to like Casablanca,
Then there's Get Out and Pirates of the Caribbean. And
Yeah, they're just
Jerry
a lot
Maguire,
of
Jurassic Park,
yeah, a lot
like
of
famous movies throughout the
critically
years.
acclaimed movies.
Yeah, like Fight Club's on here.
The
Lord
Matrix.
of the Rings. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. So tons of options.
Eternal,
Jurassic Park.
yeah, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Just,
Empire
Kid's
Strikes
favorite.
Back, but not A New Hope.
I've seen these posters all over TikTok, and I thought they were really cool. But I thought it'd be kind of fun for us to get us out of our comfort zone of stuff that we typically pick. So
Yeah, it's a good idea.
So,
We'll just get a Marvel movie.
Watch it.
so I have a random number generator off of Google. I'm set 1 through 100, and I'm
it's
about to
gonna be
generate.
whatever movie we watch next week.
Yes. 26.
All right. So
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Nope.
They're 10 per row.
So E.T.
10. Oh, that's 16.
So E.T. We're watching E.T. next week.
yo.
It's a great movie.
Yo.
Hell yeah.
Wait, could you say no?
Yeah, no, I said yo.
Oh, okay. I was gonna be like, I thought you liked E.T.
Great. I'm so glad we picked a good movie.
Thank you, random number generator. I love
Yeah.
E.T.
Strong start. I think we've all seen this, so
It'll be a fun one though. I haven't
Yeah.
watched it in forever.
Oh,
I was gonna
God,
say
it's
it's-
been like 8 years, 9.
it's probably been like 10 plus since I've like actually watched it.
Yeah, I'm actually like really excited about it now. I'm like, God, I haven't seen that forever. It'll be fun.
It's the point of the poster.
Yeah. You want to go next? Or you want me to, Corey?
You can go next.
So then we haven't decided which month yet, maybe June or July, but we are going to do a full month of each week. One of us gets to pick a movie from the year that we were born. So we will have a movie from 1993 for me, one from 1998 for Sam, and then there will be 2 1999 movies for Corey and Kurt.
I have to ask a clarifying question.
Yes.
How is your birth year movie 93 when you were in prison in 76?
It was 72.
I thought it was some too. Yeah.
72, sorry.
Get
Way
it
to
right,
ruin the
bro.
joke.
It's your own. Thank you, Sam.
We never said how long she was in prison for.
I definitely did.
Reincarnation.
bet.
It's the only answer I have.
Or you should pick a movie from 1972.
Or both.
If it's We'll figure out if either of those months is a 5-week month, and if it is, we'll do another movie from 1972.
Hell yes. And then the last project that we've really been talking about is for each of our birthdays, we pick one of our favorite movies. And since I am the only non-Capricorn, so we'll have a bunch of these in a row in the winter time.
I think like 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then a break and then another one. But we'll have one, I guess our first one will technically be in August, so be on the lookout for that as well.
Yeah.
That'll be
We've got
mine.
some fun stuff coming up. We've talked about a couple other like mini series and little specials and stuff like that, but
Kurt and I have been thinking about reviewing all of the Scooby-Doo movies.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe there'll be a YouTube thing.
that could be
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Put some
We can
stuff
only
over
do
on
the movies.
TikTok.
We can't talk about the TV shows. Because there's so many movies.
There's so
There's a
many
Kiss
movies.
movie.
Gosh.
The Kiss movie.
There's a WWE one.
Hear me out. The Kiss movie has a magical girl transformation scene.
It's so great.
where
it's so great.
The Kiss members
I
are
think I've
actually
seen
aliens.
every Scooby-Doo movie.
The Kiss Scooby-Doo movie is completely sober, one of the funniest, craziest things you could ever watch. I don't want to imagine that movie drunk. It'd be too funny. It's too powerful.
But yeah, so I love it. We that's what we got going on, what we got planned. I do want to put together like a Google poll kind of thing, and we'll throw it in like the description or something, and you guys can recommend movies to us or mini series. Like we've even talked about maybe doing the fucking Twilight movies
Drunk.
for a mini series. So just stuff that you guys want to hear, movies you want us to watch, that kind of thing. So I'm
Yes.
excited. We got stuff in the works.
There's no way I'm watching the Twilight movies sober.
Oh, absolutely not.
Just like Children of the Corn, if you build it, they'll come. If you recommend it, we'll watch it.
Yes, that's our new slogan.
And it also wasn't the Children of the Corn. That was
That's
the
what you said.
baseball movie.
Yeah, that was Angels in the Outfield,
Angels in
right?
the Outfield, yeah.
Right?
Not Children of the
No.
Corn, yeah.
Or no,
You said
No,
Children
it's
of the Corn.
Field of Dreams.
Field of
Dreams.
Dreams. Thank you.
All of us are wrong.
We suck at this.
Yeah,
Clearly we need to see more
sports
movies.
movie. I don't sports movie. I like Sam and rom-coms is how I feel about sports movies.
Have you seen The Blind Side?
I have seen The Blind Side.
It's a great movie. Have you seen? I know you've had to have seen We Are Marshall.
I've seen We Are Marshall. I've
'Cause
seen
of Our
Radio. I've seen all of them. Like I've seen all the. I've seen so
Have you seen
many.
Rocky?
I've seen Rocky 1,
Have you seen
2,
Creed?
3. I've seen Creed 1 and 2. I still don't like sports movies.
We should totally watch
Creed
The
1
Mighty
has to be
Ducks.
Creed 1's my favorite.
Creed 1 is great.
Creed 1 is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, well, since we hit a dead zone in the conversation, I think it's time we sign off.
I think so. This is like our longest episode.
Hell yeah.
What a chaotic mess it's been.
Put people
love
who play
it.
video games talking about a movie that's all about video games.
It's a good time. It's fun.
Explaining what Simps are more than once.
Simps, neckbeards, and incels.
Stay tuned for Kurt's breakdown of what movie characters are fit on the pie chart.
We're gonna have to like have this like little segment at the beginning of an episode where you're like, "Hey, it's Kurt. I am here to be your Urban Dictionary today." Before the episode starts.
Oh, God.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. Make sure to check out our social media at CDR Pod, or if you go to Facebook, it's certainly Doomed Reviews. Give us a like, a follow, share, ring the bell, as Sam likes to say. All the fun stuff. It helps us out, and especially word of mouth. So, if you like our podcast and you think somebody else would enjoy it, make sure you tell them.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.